Michele and Pickles here with How to Train a Dream Dog. I've got a question for you. Does your dog have an ear infection? Or maybe some inflammation that's causing some pain or excessive itching? Now, if your vet prescribed or even suggested some ear drops, you might be wondering how in the world your pup is going to allow you to give them. Now, administering ear drops in dogs can be a little bit tricky, but I can help you through it. In addition to being a dog trainer, I've actually worked at a vet's clinic, so I learned a lot of great tips for giving meds. Now, ear infections are actually the second most common reason for vet visits for dogs. Warm, humid weather and frequent dips in the pool or the lake can contribute to some ear infections. Hang on till the end of this video and I'm going to give you a few tips on how to help prevent ear infections. Now, if you're watching this video after already trying unsuccessfully to put in ear drops, just know that it's not too late to make it a better experience. Now, it's going to take a little bit more time and probably some higher value treats and definitely a lot more human patience. But you're going to get there. Now, the number one mistake most pet owners make during this process is going too fast. Now, I know that seems like the process that I'm going to outline is going to be achingly slow, and you might even say, Michele, I don't have time for all that. But believe me, it's going to pay off in spades in the end. Now, let me paint a picture of this process using a scenario with humans. I think it'll actually help you understand a little bit better from the canine perspective. Let's say that I was visiting a friend who had a pet snake, and this friend is walking around her house carrying the snake. Now, I'm staying far away from it because it's new, and I don't really know anything about snakes. But I am a little curious. I will want to get a little bit closer, but I'm actually still pretty unsure. Now imagine what would happen at this moment if the friend decided to approach me and suddenly with the snake and without warning puts it around my neck. Yeah, can you picture what I would do? I'm probably in panic mode, right? Alright, well, I'd probably scream and I'd try to get the snake off me as quickly as possible. And I wouldn't trust my friend at all after that. Now, think of that as the snake, as this little bottle of ear drops. And the friend with the snake is you. Now, if you approach your dog and you try to rush the process of the eardrops, she's going to resist out of instinct and now has a negative association with those drops and you. Now, alternatively, let's think about it if my friend was going to help me build confidence around the snakes. So as she saw I was nervous, she might have promised to stand perfectly still and invite me to come closer. Now, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable and I decide to get a little bit closer and maybe even examine the snake up close. I might even touch it. If nothing bad happens and I'm becoming more curious, then likely my confidence about the snake is going to grow. That's what we're doing here, building confidence. We don't want to build confidence with fear or force. Now, the hard part is that unlike me and my snake owner friend, you and your dog don't communicate in the same way. That means it will be up to you to interpret your dog's body language to determine if he or she is comfortable or if you're doing something that causes fear. Now, if she appears uncomfortable or scared, you've gone way too far too fast, and it's time to end the session and try again at another time. Right, Pickles? Now, I'm going to suggest you do this eardrop process in 3 phases. Phase 1 is to introduce the bottle as something that's positive because it's accompanied by tasty, high-value treats. Phase 2 is going to be a lifelong skill that will be very helpful in many things. That's making sure that your dog is comfortable with handling of their ears. Phase 3 is going to be combining these 2 activities so that the comfort of the bottle combined with the comfort with their ears being handled means you'll be able to give eardrops to your dog with ease. Now, the way to help your puppy get comfortable with the eardropper bottle is to associate it with good things. Now, you can start by showing her the bottle and then offering her a treat. Now, you're really going to want to put out the big guns on the treats for this one. I'm talking like hot dogs or boiled chicken or something stinky, smelly, or slimy. Now, if she's curious about the bottle, let her smell it. All the while, offer her tasty treats anytime she gets closer or somehow engages with the bottle. That includes just looking at it. At this point, you're really simply holding it in your hand and letting the dog make all the movements closer or further away. Now remember, what would happen if that friend threw that snake at me? It wouldn't end well. So don't be tempted to do that with your dog either. Now, if the treats are tasty and if you're calm and quiet and not pushing too fast, the dog is likely to be happy to investigate it further. Feel free to get creative here as you slowly get closer to her with the bottle, including eventually touching her body and then her ear with it. This will probably take several different sessions over the course of several days. As you're moving the bottle closer to the pup, don't try to touch the bottle to the ear right away. Now, her ear is likely already a little tender or maybe even painful. You're going to start by touching the bottle to the leg or the shoulder or under the chin. Slowly, over several training sessions, you can progress to the ear. Now, the number one most important priority here is to ensure that there's no negative reaction from your dog. Even her moving away or turning her head away will be considered a negative for this exercise. And if she's doing that, you're probably going too fast. Training sessions are very small baby steps towards the goal. Now you might simply move the bottle 1 inch closer to her in one session. A neutral or a positive reaction would be that she remains curious and relaxed, making eye contact with the bottle, or better yet, she looks at you for the treat. Now, if she does this, you know you're on the right track. Now, phase 2 isn't necessarily linear. You could be working on it at the same time as you're working on the bottle, but maybe in separate sessions. Or better yet, you can work on body handling and desensitization long before you ever need it. Now you can check out this video here for more great information on that topic. So to desensitize ear handling, you're going to really do it similar to the process you did with the ear dropper bottle. You're going to slowly, with her consent, work up to touching and handling the ear. At first, you might simply get near the ear, but not even touch it. And over time, you're going to build up her positive association so that you can touch and handle it. Now, do these desensitizations with both ears, not just one ear that needs the medicine. Now, we have a game in my online course called the collar grab that's a really perfect kind of game for this activity. In it, I show you the mechanics of how to reach for a puppy in a way that's going to cause her to come towards you willingly and happily. We use that as an introduction to the collar and leash, and for a drop it cue, or if you have to remove something from the dog's mouth for safety purposes. Now that we've got the ear handling and the ear dropper desensitization down, and the pup's comfortable with both of these, it's time to combine them. Again, we go nice and slow, and we do not need to advance to the next step without her consent. Remember, the snake. I did better when my friend let me choose when I was ready to come closer. Do the same for your puppy. Now, once you've finally worked up to being able to lift the ear and apply one drop, do just one drop and then stop. And of course, give her tons of treats at that point. Yes. Now, even if your prescription calls for multiple drops, just start with the one. At this point, you might get a reaction from her, as this could possibly be a strange and unfamiliar sensation. Save some really high-value treats for this part so she learns that the amazing and tasty things happen at the minute the sensation is felt. She could really be able to anticipate this process with the excitement because those treats are totally worth it. Now, if your dog doesn't love treats as much as other things, consider what she does love and do that immediately after the drops. The timing is important. Now, if you wait too long, you could lose the association between the drops and the fun activity. One other tip that you might try is regarding the temperature of the drops. Now, if they're cold, this could really make a difference in how well this process works. You may be able to warm up the liquid by placing the container in a bowl of warm water for just a few minutes. Be sure to ask your veterinarian if this is an acceptable thing to do before warming any medication. Do not microwave the medication. Now, a few other things that could influence the success of the process. Watch your body posture during this process. The more you're leaning over or even straddling the dog or keeping her confined, the more stress you're going to add to this activity. Sit next to her rather than in front of her or towering over the top of her. Now, you might find that you have more control over your pup during this ear drop process if he or she is actually on a leash. Now, if you're doing it right, she should be happy to get on the leash and get the ear drops, because it means tasty things or a fun game. Now, before I share the last few tips you need to complete in the ear drop lesson, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when another video like this one becomes available. Now, you might find this process goes better after a little pent-up energy has been released. You don't want her to be revved up and full of playful energy, ready to have some fun while you're trying to do a little bit of the training work. But you also don't want her battery drained so much that she's already cranky and in no mood to handle any of this. A battery that's in the middle range is best. A hunger level would be the same. Time the drops when she is not too hungry, but also not so full that she doesn't want the treats. Make sure your stress level isn't contributing to this process. Now, if you have an attitude of dread and let's get this over with, and ugh, it's time for meds again, she's gonna pick up on that and associate that process with negativity. Now, if you're calm and pleasant and have a happy tone, but not overly excited, tone of voice, she's gonna realize that this is a good process. Now, another tip, practice makes progress. If you only need to do drops once or twice a day, you might want to go through the process multiple times a day, just not actually administering them. That way, you'll build up the repetition of a positive association with the practice. Gymnastics practice endlessly for competition. Consider this your eardrop competition. Do you practice well enough for the Olympic medal? After inserting the drops, you might have to rub the base of the ear in a circular motion. Yes, it's a good dog. Oh, that feels good. That feels nice. Yeah. That's a pretty common part of administering eardrops. Be cautious and gentle as your dog may object to this procedure. Now, you should hear a squishing sound as you massage the medication deep into the ear canal. After the drops go in, let your dog shake her head. Now, if the medication contains a wax solvent, it's going to dissolve the debris, which your pup will want to shake out of their ear. Don't worry, the drops are going to still get where they need to be, even if she shakes. Now, if you can, try to avoid having to give eardrops in the first place. This means trying to prevent ear infections from happening. Adding an ear cleaning routine to your dog's grooming and bathing regimen can definitely prevent ear infections. Another good preventative is constantly drying the inside of your dog's ear out after swimming or bathing. Simply use a towel and/or a cotton ball to dry out the ear before the moisture has time to fester. For more great tips on bathing and making it a pleasant experience, check out this video here. Now, I know it seems like a lot of work just to give your dog some eardrops, but these steps are really going to help you maintain that trust with your dog while creating a positive association with drops being administered. Now, if you adjust your expectations, plan for the process to be pleasant for the dog, and do the right positive association, I know you will get there. The good news is that this process will work for future meds too, with just a little bit of reminders. Consider it a life skill. Now, if you like these tips and you'd love some more information, you're gonna love my online course, 30 Days to Puppy Perfection. Or if you're just planning ahead for a new puppy and you're trying to get all the great information before he or she comes home, the new Puppy Starter Kit will be your next great resource. In the comments below, let me know, how's your dog doing with that ear infection?